Dumelang Sanbonani. Good evening, South Africa, and welcome to Expressions. I know you know this by now, but Expressions is the platform where you get to air your views. Kina host Elena Jacqueline Mapala. I want to say a happy Women's Month to all the Bogotos out there. I really hope that you got an opportunity to really celebrate your power and celebrate the ability that you have to bring about change. And talking about change, today on the show, we are going to be putting a spotlight on women who are doing exactly just that. I'm speaking about women who are groundbreakers, women who are reshaping and redefining the spaces that they find themselves. These are women in a man's world. Now, currently, we are on location in Middelburg at a military base called for South African Infantry Battalion. We're going to be meeting our first guest. Now, she is phenomenal in every sense of that word. And throughout the show, we are going to be meeting groundbreakers just like her. So you don't want to go anywhere because this show is a power show. I'm currently on the field that staged a platoon attack drill that was led by this phenomenal lady that is now my next guest. Now, you know that on our Women's Month show, we are showcasing and putting a spotlight on groundbreakers. And my next guest is exactly just that. I'm speaking about Lieutenant Koto, who is also a platoon commander in the SNDF. Welcome to Expressions. It's good to have you here. We've gone all military on the show today. I mean, in the background, you will be able to see what is called a Casper, as a hippo. But I mean, this is your field of play, basically, in a nutshell, right? Kucho, help us to understand who Kucho really is. What kind of a woman is Kucho?
Koto, as a lieutenant in the SNDF, as a platoon commander. I've been a platoon commander, commanding my platoon in Africa, Sudan, in 2014 to 2015. And also I've deployed to DRC, Democratic of Republic of Congo, being a leader there, leading women and men there. And then it was also a success on the other side.
So how does, say, Limpopo #1, who comes from a very small village, now end up being in this field where men are dominating? How did you end up being in the military?
According to me, it was a blessing, and it's something that I've loved. All over in uniform, looking good, and then fortunate enough and I'm happy as a leader SNDF.
Today we're obviously about Basadi in very male-dominated spaces, but I want to understand mindset here how. So the first day Kucho at Limpopo steps into this base, what was going through your mind? What were you thinking about at that point in time?
Okay, the first thing that came to my mind was excited. And I also prepared my mind for any challenges as a woman, because there are some men, they've got this mentality or ringing, they cannot be led by women. But otherwise, I was prepared for it, and I took it by heart. And otherwise,
Kucho, what is it that you feel inspires you, or I think most importantly, who are the women who made you feel like this is a possible career path for you to take?
There are many ladies or women that fell in love with, and then they motivated me of being a leader or being a woman in a men's world. But others, I've been looking up to them, Basadi, most of the time. And even the ministers and everything, but I've been looking up to Basadi at all times, because Lena, as a woman, I must be like them. My mom can motivate her at all times, or you can do whatever that you feel, or when you're going to
So I think if you're hearing all the gunshots in the background, it's because we're in a military base. I mean, this is as authentic and as organic as it comes. So don't blame us for not taking you to the places where you should be. But I think moving on with our conversation, Kucho, You were saying to me as well that part of the reason why you wanted to be in this space was the fact that you liked the challenge. So a lot of women are very fearful to be the first women in very male-dominated spaces. But tell us, at least the viewers who are watching, why that was a driving force for you?
Okay, it was a driving force for me because like give someone not just like the other ladies, because they have already they did it. So then I can still do it the way one of do. So otherwise it has started long time ago. So then I just wanna fall in that path or in the other ladies back there.
What is in the future for you? What are you planning for? Are you looking at becoming a general, a colonel? I mean, what are your plans in terms of career path?
I foresee myself as becoming a general someday. Hope soon, but someday.
Just a note, SNDF. She said soon. Koto, why do you think it is important to have the presence of female in very male-dominated spaces?
According to me, it is very much important. Or that place. We can even perform whatever that men they are performing better than them. So they might just give us a platform for us so that we can show them that we are better performers than them.
I love that. Thank you so very much for coming to the show and definitely showing us what it means to be a real modo. From the words of Lieutenant Koto herself, she says that women can do what men can do, but in most cases we can do it better. So make sure you stay with us because we're going to be putting another spotlight on someone else who is a groundbreaker. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I don't see any problem to work with the woman because she's having that strength that the man has, because she's being strong and she was commanding the men's. The whole 15 months I was working with her.
She doesn't take things personal. In case she proves herself or no, if you don't criticize her or anything like that, prove her wrong by her hard work. She's a hard worker.
Ukucho ndi leader ya budi nda enjoy ngori wa kunori understand ndi leader ya budi wa kunori guide ka zwithu zwitiso yani mushumoni.
For banna ba ba renga banya leadership ba basadi, I will say let's give them a chance because they're capable doing what we are doing as men in the defense force. They can also do it.
Today on Expressions, we are going to be putting a spotlight on groundbreakers. These are women who are changing the status quo. They are pioneering change. They're redefining and reshaping very male-dominated spaces. Now, the lady who is sitting with me right now is a lady that fits that description so perfectly. I'm speaking about Faith Mhlambi. She is a pilot as well as a flight instructor, and she's going to tell us about the reality of being a woman in a very male-dominated industry. Faith, welcome to Expressions. It's so good just to have you here. I mean, we've got like a makeshift studio in...
You made it your own.
In your space. This is where you work, right?
Thank you, yes. I've been here for doing instruction. Also did my training here. So I did my training here and also I'm instructing here as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. Who is Faith? Where does she hail from?
Okay, so Faith is a 25-year-old from Etzakane. I'm from the East Rand. Even though I instruct here in Midrand, I'm from the East Rand, born and bred there. I grew up there, went to school at Springers Girls High, and obviously from there on training, I just explored. The world was my oyster. Like I had to do it no matter what.
So Faith, tell us about how you got to love planes. I mean, you tell an interesting story about how you saw a plane flying over your head and you looked at it and you thought, oh, this is what I want to do.
As I was growing up, I was intrigued by this thing that obviously it's not a bird, but it's a metal basically flying above us. And I thought there was someone literally from the ground controlling it. So I told my mom, I'm going to control that thing. One day, I'm going to control it. And my mom was like, okay, control. And that's basically where the bug hit me. From then, I was so intrigued by it and to see how big it was, and I really wanted to pursue it.
What challenges do you face on a daily basis as a female in, like I'm saying, a very male-dominated space that you occupy?
True. And the challenges that you have, being undermined, being short in the industry, and they will tell you, okay, try this out and you're short, having to carry your cushion around just to make sure that when you sit down, you can actually see ahead of the aircraft and basically reach the instruments. Those are the challenges that we have, but obviously as the years go by, I think it is gradually transforming, and also seeing more females in the industry make it more basically adaptable and reachable.
You tell a very interesting story about how the room for failure as a female pilot is so small, but compared to your male counterparts, it's completely different. So you're not allowed to make a mistake, and obviously your male counterparts, on the other hand, they're given as much leverage as they want. So talk to us a little bit about that experience.
As a flight instructor, sometimes you will be undermined as a female because you'll get those students who like, I don't want to be taught by a female. And obviously, at the same time, you can't be hurt, like, why don't you want to be, you have to be professional about it and say, okay, fine, I understand you, then transfer that student to another person.
We were also speaking about how, in itself, sometimes pressure and sometimes failure in themselves are not meant to break you down as a person. They actually develop you and develop your character. I mean, how have you seen your character change from some of the challenges that you've had to experience in your journey?
Compared to high school, I was not the sharpest pencil in the pencil box, I have to say. To a point where high school, I didn't tell people I wanted to become a pilot, because they'll say, pilot with those grades or pilot with that attitude. So a few people knew I wanted to become pilot, and then now most of my classmates are like, wow, you really did it. I really wanted to do it, and I was like, I'm not going to tell people about it because they're going to discourage me. Next thing, I'm in the office 9 to 5 being miserable. But I think that sustained me throughout the whole journey.
And now that we are celebrating Women's Month, the question is always, are we doing enough to make sure that women are penetrating male-dominated spaces? And what would your answer be to that question?
I think definitely we are penetrating to a point where you're not afraid to be scared. Like I was telling you earlier, that my mother was telling me the other day that you youngsters, you complain all the time you complain that this is not happening, that's not happening. You have to be grateful simply because you are penetrating industries in which back then it just said white only. But now you're penetrating it, and I'm just happy that you are the first people to experience the turmoils, to live, to tell the story to the young ones. So yes, there is transformation, not only in this male-dominated, others as well, boiler making, trains. You see females, and it's so inspiring to know that everyone can do it now.
Future-wise, 5 years from now, I mean, where would we be seeing Faith? Is Faith going to be flying commercially? What's going to be happening with Faith's future?
Considering that I'm young, I'd like to explore more in bush flying, so basically expanding myself, not only knowing piloting, but also aviation as a whole, so that by the time I get to the commercial level, it's not just me being Faith the pilot, but Faith the pilot, Faith the instructor, Faith who can test captains one day, Faith who can basically is broad-minded in aviation. That's what I want, and that's where I see myself in 5 years from now. Hopefully family after that 5 years.
Yes, family, of course, the children and the babies.
After that 5 years.
All of that has to come. But Faith, thank you so much for your time. I think in 1956, when those women marched, they didn't just march just to protest against apartheid. I think they marched in order to create a path for people like yourselves to walk in.
Exactly.
And you are the dream, that has come to fruition. And I just thank you so much for being a good story to tell for young women, Bakuni Springs, Tsakane, and everywhere else. Keep up the good work. We wish you all the best in Expressions. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. That was Faith Mhlambi, a pilot as well as flight instructor, showing us that women can definitely thrive in very male-dominated spaces. But we definitely have more groundbreakers after this. Make sure you stay with us.
Hi Expressions, I'm Leona Jansen van Rensburg, and I'm here at Grand Central Airport talking to 2 students about training to be a pilot. What are some of the challenges you face being a woman in men's industry?
One of the challenges I'd say I face is sometimes being undermined by fellow male students, and some would assume that you are not as good or not as capable of flying as well as boys seemingly naturally do as compared to women.
Okay, what do you think?
One of my main challenges will be rather more the scarcity of women in the industry, because I look up to women as my motivation. And because there's not many women, I sometimes, I feel overwhelmed. I can sometimes feel a bit anxious. So that's my main.
Thank you so much for your input today.
If you just joined us, you are watching Expressions here on SABC 1 with me, Jacqueline Mapala. Today we are talking about women who are dominating in male spaces. Now, the next lady that we're going to be featuring is a woman who exemplifies and epitomizes exactly just that. Now, she is a lady that is pushing the envelope and completely redefining the space that she's in. Now, I'm speaking about a lady by the name of Portia Matiba, who is a train driver. Now, we're going to go in and meet her and talk to her a little bit about what makes her so phenomenal. Let's go. Hi, Portia. Welcome to Expressions.
Nice to meet you. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, show me a couple of things here. So, Portia, we've gotten to know Portia, the train driver, but now we want to get to know Portia, the woman. Tell us about who you are.
In 2001, I started here at Metro Rail as a ticket examiner. Like normally what you know on the gates, like checking tickets and verifying tickets. Yeah, I was doing that up to 2005, but I was doing that on a contract basis. 2005, I started as a ticket officer, permanently employed by Metro Rail. That was the 1st of December. And then afterwards, like I started interacting a lot with train drivers and Metro guards. And that's where my passion started. Like, I want to be this train driver, and by then there was a very few women. And then like they sometimes used to tell us like the challenges and like the love of the job and everything. So that thing, it motivated me. I told myself that one day I'm going to be up there, and I pushed myself to be where I am today.
What kind of challenges do you encounter as a woman in a very male-dominated space, but I think most importantly, a woman in a man's world?
So we have those like commuters who's committing suicide on the rails and all of that. And then in like when that happened, as a train driver, whether male or female, they take us to a EAP system, an employment system, where you get professional help, where they counsel you until you are ready to come back. Because remember, you are working with lives here. So you must be sober-minded and you must be vigilant. So when, say, maybe you had an incident where it was a suicide, someone committed a suicide. I mean, it's going to like hammer you on your like emotions and everything. But then our company, like they take us through every step of the way. And like they encourage us, and especially like us women, they never made us feel like I'm less of my male partner maybe, or my male colleagues and stuff. And then the other challenges maybe that we have, you can see my body. I'm very small, I'm short, and then like maybe pushing the pantograph, that's called a pantograph up there, pushing that. Since I'm short, I will have to like work extra hard. I will have to work twice as hard as my male colleague.
So Portia, just tell me about the first day of training for you. How did you feel? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Were you anxious? What was going through your mind?
You know what, I can still vividly remember that day. I was very nervous, and then I went with the section manager. We had to do my practical training to check if I can drive alone and all that. And then before the train came inside the platform, I turned around and I checked on the platform, and I was like, yo, am I going to travel all these people safely to Kwesini? And then I told him, I said, you know what, sir, I'm very nervous today. And then he told me, no, you don't have to be nervous, just be yourself. And okay, nerves will kick in, obviously, but make sure you do what you were trained for.
Portia, I just want to find out from you what gives you strength, what makes you centered, especially when you're going through some of those, moments where you are doubting yourself and you're asking yourself whether this is the right thing to do. What is it that keeps you centered?
My purpose is to take South Africa to work, take South Africa from point A to point B. And most of the time, if you know that most poor people like people that's struggling will use our train system. And you know, you feel so proud if you see that elderly woman getting out safely out of the train, and then she'll even come to you and say, thank you, my daughter, or thank you, Sisi, for bringing me safely here. It makes you proud. It makes you feel like when you wake up in the morning, I have to go and take my gogo, I have to go and take Tata to work.
Why is it important for women to enter into these very male-dominated spaces? I mean, we know a lot of women feel so fearful to say, I'm going to be the first woman, therefore I might not be accepted, I might be rejected. So why is it important for us to push the envelope and constantly just dismantle some of these stereotypes that are there about women?
Women should not be thinking that maybe I'm feminine, I won't be able to pull this thing. No, you can do it. If you set your mind to it, then you can do it. Anything that you set your mind to it, you can just do it. So I would like to say to them, you know what, woman, it's woman's man. Viva! So let's do it, girls. Let's go out there and show our male partners or our male colleagues that we can do this. Let's take it.
So much. Thank you so much. I have to give you a hug. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ona le di-challenge tse ngata banna ba re undermine ha wa bona go drive train. Jaanong ha re dutse fatshe bona re le tjenana ga motivatana hore ha o le so situation e le so o etse jwa like o be calm ha ba bua le wena like o ska ba khutsetsa back. Just o be cool obo.
Banna musi ba chi re jela advantage re training ba chi re nyadza ba chi re jela fasi. Tshine tsha vha hone ndi tsho ri u amba navho uri vha pfesese wa vha ṱalutshedza uri nṋe sa mufumakadzi musi ndi hafha noni ndi tshi khou assista driver cause nṋe ndi train assistant driver vha ri sema na mini zwoṱhe vha ri vhudza uri no mpempe mini mini zwithu zwi no nga zwenezwo. So tshifhinga tshinzhi arali vha tshi khou amba ngoralo vha tshi khou ri dzhiela fhasi no ri nyadza ndi vha ṱalutshedza uri hai vha songo ndzhiela fhasi ngori nṋe wa mufumakadzi ndi nṋe ndine nda ḓo dovha nda vha swikisa hune vha khou ya hone vha swika vho tsireledzea ngori kanzhi arali ni u muthu wa mufumakadzi vha vha vho u nyadza arali ni ro staka nḓilani vha amba uri ya ro zwi ḓivha uri nga si swike ngori u khou reila mufumakadzi u khou tshimbila na mufumakadzi futhi. So zwino arali no muthu wa mufumakadzi wa dovha vha ṱalutshedza uri hai riṋe vha vhafumakadzi ndi riṋe futhi rine ra vha na mbilu dzavhuḓi dzine ri a kona u vha pfhela uri mini kha ri vha tshimbidze ri vha swikise hune vha khou ya hone vho tsireledzea.
So we have come to the end of our Power Woman show here on Expressions. I want to say thank you to my phenomenal women. Ke bua ka Faithy, ke bua ka Khutso, ke bua ka Portia. Women continue to push the envelope and showing us that women can definitely dominate in male spaces. Now, Warren Buffett says that one of the reasons why he's managed to be successful is because he's been competing with one part of the population. Now, with what we've seen in today's show, I want to say this to you, Warren Buffett, Sifigile, we are taking over. A big thank you from me, Jacqueline Maphala, and the Expression team. We say Happy Women's Day to all the Mogotos out there. Bye.
Hi, this is Didi. Can we please talk more about the human trafficking here on High Express? Can all the men express how they feel about what is happening to our women? Please, let's fight against this. Can we please fight against this?